Here we have chapter 11, communication in the internet age. Let's see how this chapter works. The chapter objective is to identify each major link in the communication process. You guys know the communication process, how it works? Communication process is when I talk to you, right? I'm thinking, I have an idea. This idea become words. The words I say them, and then you can hear me because we're face-to-face medium. You hear them. Once you hear them, you start to process them. You understand the words, the context, and then you get an idea. You got a message, and then if you guys understand when you do this, that's the feedback I receive. So that's the communication process. So we explain the basics, the concept of media richness. There are some media which is very rich. If I talk to you now and I do eye to eye, eye to your eye, face to face contact, that's rich information. If I send you an SMS and I say, "Hey, what's up?" or I send you a message and I say, "Please do this," it's not very rich media because you only get the words that are written on the SMS. So we'll talk more about that. We'll identify 5 communication strategies and specify guidelines for using them. We will discuss why it's important for managers to know about the grapevine. Anyone know what's the grapevine? Grapevine is anyone in their workplace, like 2 employees on the side, they sit and then one person talks to the other one and say, "Did you know what happens?" And then they start to talk about what happens and how bad and rumors that spread. That's we call this the grapevine. You see, we call this the grapevine, and it's and we'll also talk about nonverbal communication. Do you guys know verbal communication? That has words. Nonverbal communication has no words in it. Yeah. If I do this or that, okay, or I see this, all of these signs can have a lot of meaning. And then we'll explain 4 ways managers can encourage upward communication. We talked about upward communication. We said that's when when you want your employees to talk to you. Explain how to deal with information overload and outline a workplace policy for social networking sites. So, is social networking good or bad? The thing is about it is that you can't avoid them. So, how can you make them to work for you? And you want to list 2 practical tips for each of the 3 modern communication technologies. Is there any etiquette for emails, etiquette for cell phones, etiquette for video conferences? We'll talk more about that and we'll summarize the pros and cons. Do you guys know what's telecommuting? Telecommuting is when you work from home. And we'll specify at least 3 practical tips for improving each of the following communication skills: listening, writing, running a meeting. Which one is easier, listening, writing, or running a meeting? Which one is the most difficult and needs a lot of training? Do you see? So we'll talk more about that. So that's the introduction about the communication process. What is communication? Communication is the interpersonal transfer of information and understanding from one person to the other. How many people understand me now? Raise your hand. That's good. So information is transferring. Sometimes you need to have a link in this social process, including sender, encoding, medium, decoding, receiver, and feedback. And the communication process is only as strong as the weakest link. So this is the communication process. You start with an idea with a person, sender. They take it, they encode it, they put the words they want or the message they want to convey in a medium, and this medium will reach the other person. The person will decode it, receive it, have a perception of it, understand it, and they will send feedback, reply or yes or no. If you're doing a good job, right, then you get the message that you're doing a good job, right? Then you give me a feedback that thank you, right? If I want to, if I look at you and I say, on your quiz exam you get 4 out of 18. That's a message, right? You have a message. So I send you this, you get 4 out of 18. You get the message. Some people don't get the message, right? But some people they get the message, right? There are sometimes noise that come from outside, or they don't get the message for some reason, and that prevents communication. Medium is how you got the message. Now, for example, if I send you an email, the medium is online. If I send it to you SMS, is the GSM operator. If I send it to you, if sometimes I make a message on the board, like I write there here, if you have to, I don't know, did you see the sign there? The message says the password for the wireless network is this. That's a message, and people get it. And the medium is just a posting on the wall. No, the language it's part of the encoding and decoding. If I talk to you in Russian now and you don't understand Russian, then I will be encoding it in Russian, and then you will not be able to decode it. You see, but the medium will be the same medium if I talk to you in the language you understand. Now the medium I'm using is the face-to-face communication. You see, this is the medium is face to face. You hear my voice. If I call you by phone, the medium is phone. If I call you via Skype, then the medium is Skype. Now, if Skype is not clear connection, then we have a noise in the medium, which is the Skype not working well. You see, if I send you an email and your computer couldn't open the Arabic, encoding, then there is you see garbage. There's a problem with the medium is that you couldn't get the email correctly. You see, so the medium is how you got the message. If I write it on the board and I put the message on the board and no one can see it or it's not clear, the medium I use is the board, and then there is a problem with this medium is that people couldn't get it or was very not very clear. If I make a sign on the street and the sign on the street says, let's say an advertisement or announcement for the employees and there is dust on it, then there's a problem there with the medium is that people couldn't see that. Any questions on this?